and Youth, organized by Ramakrishna Mission, Vivekananda Centenary College, Rahora. We are very fortunate to have Professor B.N.Gangadhar, Honorable Chairman, National Medical Commission, for today's seminar. We are very grateful to you, sir, for giving us time from your busy schedule, for sharing your valuable insight and viewpoints with our students. So before we start, I request Revered Principal Maharaj to felicitate our guest. Now I request Revered Principal Maharaj to deliver the welcome address.
Respected Professor B.N.Gangadhar ji on the dais, and in front of me the respected also the doctors from our AIIMS Kalyani. They are present here, and other dignitaries and my colleagues and my dear students. Those are present here in this beautiful afternoon. So this a seminar talk we have organized, this mental well-being and the youth in this day, and for this purpose we have got Professor B.N.Gangadhar ji. He is now the chairman of National Medical Council, Government of India. He happens to come here for his meeting in AIIMS Kalyani, and in his very tight busy schedule he came here. After finishing his meeting, he came here again. He went to another place. So very hectic. He has all this tour, everything very hectic. But till he accepted, because he wants to talk with the students, the young students. Because Professor Gangadhar ji is a renowned psychiatrist of India. He previously the director of AIIMS, Bangalore. So I told him that you tell your topic, because his whole life he has devoted for this topic, the psychiatry and its different branches. So with this few words, I once again welcome sir on behalf of the college, on behalf of all the students, faculty member and everything present here. And also I very happy to be present our Devashish Babu, very beloved and friends of our college. He is also present here, and he actually known to Dr. Gangadhar ji. He told me that Maharaj, you invite him because he is coming here, and for this purpose actually we invited, and know that he is coming for his official purpose in this Kalyani. So with these few words, I once again welcome sir on behalf of the college and on behalf of all faculty and students. So thank you.
Thanks and regards, Maharaj. So before going to Sir's talk, I would like to introduce the speaker to the audience. Professor B.N.Gangadhar has completed his MBBS and MD degree in psychiatry from Bangalore University. He is currently working as Director, National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, Bangalore. He is Professor of Psychiatry and served as Head, Department of Psychiatry from 2007 to 2009. He has Program Director for AIIMS Integrated Center for Yoga from its inception. He was Chief for De-Addiction Center from 2003 to 2006. Besides, he has been visiting professor to some other institutions like Swami Vivekananda Yoga Anushandhana Samsthana, and Vienna University. His areas of research including biological psychiatry, electroconvulsive therapy, schizophrenia, and yoga. He has more than 350 publications in national and international journal and several articles in the books. He has been principal investigator and co-investigator for many projects like WHO, Purgatory International, DST, ICMR, AIIMS, CCRAS funded projects. Department of Science and Technology, Government of India honored him with Sir C.V. Raman Award for Medical Sciences in 1998. He got Dr. D.S. Raju Memorial Oration Award from Indian Psychiatry Society in 2001. He was awarded the Padma Shri in 2020. Besides, he has been co-recipient for many other awards. So not elongated the introductory. Before, we are glad to you, sir, to amaze us today, and we are really grateful to you. So we would request to Professor B.N. Gangadhar ji, Honorable Chairman, National Medical Commission, to kindly deliberate his speech.
Good afternoon. I know it's a last hour of your day of the college today. And I know what it is to be a college student. At this hour, it's unlikely that I can keep your attention. You ought to be playing in the field, whether it is football, cricket, volleyball, kabaddi, or whatever it is. This is the play hour. But nonetheless, having come, Swamiji said I should speak to you. So I am requesting you to give me your attention for perhaps another 20 or 25 minutes. It's not going to be a very lengthy talk. It's not going to be a talk at all. It's more a listing of issues which you probably have to carry home as a message. So at the outset, I must thank Swamiji for bringing me to this glorious institute. I must congratulate each one of you sitting here for being proud students of this college and institute. I'm sure you're going to remember this forever, this time that you have spent in this college, its ambience, the love the people have shown to you, and I'm sure in addition to all of this, the illustrious career you make with a jumping board as this college. And we're all in, of course, West Bengal. Bengal, what it used to be called as once upon a time before West and East formed. Whenever we hear the name Bengal, lot of names go in front of us. Lot of names which make this country very proud. The national song and the national anthem had origins from this land. I think all of you should be very proud of that. The only national saint who was internationally known came from this land, Swami Vivekananda. Of course, you have a host of Krantikaris who fought for this country's freedom came from this land. And most of all, the very first Nobel Prize came to this land in our country. And the second also came to this land for that matter, Sir C.V. Raman. Although he is from south, he did his research in West Bengal. How many of you know that Sir C.V. Raman worked in West Bengal, in Calcutta for his experiments? How many of you know? I'm sure many of you know that. So there is a anecdote I heard in one of the National Science Day talks. National Science Day is observed on the memory of Sir C.V. Raman. I'm sure you know that. February 28th it happens. And in one of the talks, about Sir C.V. Raman, what was mentioned actually attracted me most. Although the anecdote of Dr. Sir C.V. Raman, which was narrated, I will come back to that a little later. The person who was speaking about Sir C.V. Raman and the Science Day said that anyone who went to Bengal had to become a patriot and then a scientist or then a Nobel laureate. The land is gifted with that degree of divinity that the moment you step in, you have to become a patriot. You have to become a nationalist. And he said Sir C.V. Raman came from south and he started doing research here. He could simply have been a scientist, but no, he did become a very staunch devotee of this very land. So he narrated the example of Sir C.V. Raman. Sir C.V. Raman gets the Nobel Prize, you know that. On the day the Nobel Prize is given, there is a stage, the Nobel laureates are sitting here and the rest of the audience are also sitting there. 6 Nobel Prize, each one fellow will come and take the Nobel Prize and go back. Dr. C.V. Raman's turn comes. Before that, one more person has received the Nobel Prize and he is sitting next to him. Sir C.V. Raman's name is called. He goes there, receives the award, comes back to his seat. His ears, his eyes are full of tears. He is weeping. So the next person tells him that Dr. Raman, you should be proud, you should be cheerful, you should be happy. Why are you in tears? Why are you so low? Considering that we are talking of mental health, I thought of how emotions are very important. He was found to be very low, and the neighboring, the person next to him asks, no, any person's, any scientist's dream is to achieve Nobel Prize, and you have achieved the pinnacle of glory. Why are you still in low mood? So what did Sir C.V. Raman say? He said, whenever you all went, your country's flag came up, your country's national anthem was played in the background. I am sure you have seen in Olympic Games, whenever they give those medals, the flag goes up and their national anthem of that country is played. That happened here. But you know, what did I do? My own brethren in our country want to bring this flag down and want to play their national anthem, that is Vande Mataram then. But what did I do? Because of my award, the flag which we wanted to bring it down went up. That time we were still British, under the British. So the British national flag went up and the British national anthem was played. So he said, the thing that my countrymen wanted to bring it down, because of me it went up. So I am feeling sad. So this anecdote was told to me by the speaker, and he said how, despite the glory that he achieved in science, what was there inherently had come out because he was in Bengal, the nationalist spirit. And so I am just reminding you that all of you will, of course, kindle that spirit in yourself, and that's what is going to make this country big. Just for this introduction, I chose this anecdote. We'll come back to the main topic, mental health in youth. Which is extremely important. In fact, if you read any definition of health, there is no health without mental health. World Health Organization, of course, today, that is last 50-60 years, while defining health, included also a mentally well individual, physical well individual, etc., etc. So that is the complete definition of a health. But mind you, as many as about 1500, 2000 years ago, Ayurveda also defined health as, in addition to physically being well, samadosha samagnischa, and then it goes on to say, prasanna atmendriya manaha swasthya iti abhidiyate. Swasthya, wellness, includes not only physical but also prasanna atmendriya manaha, the mentally well, and they also said spiritually also you should be well. And more recently, in the discussions of the World Health Organization and in the health departments of many places, now they are even talking about spirituality, spiritual health also to be included as part of well-being. So this is one concept. We are talking of well-being and wellness. We have now gone away from being ill, being healthy. You should also be feeling healthy. That wellness is very important. Feeling well is very important. That gives you all that energy physically and mentally. It is not good enough that you don't have the illness. It is also important that you are feeling, not just being healthy, but feeling healthy. In this context, I want you to observe one change that happened in the last 5-10 years. In the health department, Government of India launched what is called as wellness centers. Almost 2 lakh wellness centers came up all over the country. They called it as movement from illness getting better to actually promoting wellness, other extreme of being healthy. Of course, today they have renamed it as Ayushman Arogya Mandirs. That's a different issue altogether. But more importantly, the concept of wellness, from merely losing the disease to actually energetically feeling well. How, what should make us well is a point that I will come back to a little later. What is important is to see why is it important that in youth this wellness should be guarded. Wellness should be promoted in youth. And what can happen if it is not? What should happen to make wellness to be promoted as the end result of the process. We of course join colleges, schools. The youth will look into some skill-oriented courses, make your living, go through competitive examinations, get into professional courses, get into administrative courses. A good chunk of you may even go abroad looking for higher education and jobs. Some of you could end up as another C.V. Raman or Rabindranath Tagore, becoming the best in either humanities or in science. All this is possible, and the foundations start around this time. You will keep a goal in your life, and that starts coming up at this age. Until then, you were dependent on the family, very jovially. Some grandfather or uncle, when he comes home, pets you and then asks, what will you become? And somebody say, I'll become a big musician, big dancer, I'll become a big lawyer, I'll become a big teacher, I'll become a big doctor, I'll become XYZ, astronaut. We heard Sunita Williams coming down from the space rocket. So on that day, whatever suits me, I'll tell very jovially, and they will pet you. But that is not necessarily be the goal. The goal starts shaping when you start completing your 7th, 8th, 9th class. Then your mind start getting attracted, so that you will look into some idol, an ideology, a person whom you want to emulate, or an inner force makes you choose some direction. While it happens to good number of you, for some it may not happen, and it circumstances, etc., etc. So this is the time your energies start getting focused. And for that focusing to happen, you need to have that will. That will comes from that well feeling. That's the reason why we keep saying you have to be very well to have a strong will, and that will make sure you will succeed. Where there is a will, there is a way. So that will to achieve something has to come, and if it has to happen, you need to have that wellness preserved, wellness promoted. And at the same time, while you want to do that, you have a target, you have a direction, like Swami Vivekananda had it. That's the reason why he achieved from his youth days to achieving what he wanted to achieve, what most of us perhaps will never achieve at that age. At less than 30 years, he was internationally known. And why did it happen? Because he knew that that is the route he has to take the glory of this culture to its pinnacle and spread it across the country, across the world. Make sure that youth follow him. And it did happen. And you know what is the impact of Swami Vivekananda's, what we may call as that will and that willpower, which unfolded into a big movement in the country. So that to happen, you should be well. And it is here at this age, we are going to be disturbed by hundreds of distractions. Hundreds of distractions. As you know, you must have heard from our various Puranic stories that anybody who wanted to achieve tapas was always distracted with a Mohini or somebody, because the Indra would feel that this person would occupy my seat and make sure that it is disturbed. And even today it happens. It may not be that Indra, it may not be that Mohini, but I am sure there are many ways in which person who has a goal-directed movement will be distracted. And more so us who are in our youth here, sitting here. For others, there are many other anchors which keep them down. Maybe the father and mother when you are children, the wife when we grow up, or when we into a job, our boss, our employer, somebody who will keep us grounded, but not you. You are not grounded by others. You can be grounded only by your willpower. And that to be distracted, there will be hundreds of things that keep happening around you, whether it is various social media events distracting you, various circles of friends who may distract you, various attractions in the form of whether it is movies, gambling, etc., may distract you. Drugs, alcohol, these also may distract you. So there are hundreds of mohinis around you, to whom one of us can get attracted to, more of us can get attracted to. And this wanting to be liberated from the bonds of the family shackles make us get into these paths if my will to achieve what I wanted to achieve is not strong. I get attracted and get distracted. The second part is, at this age, our life, right from my childhood to my senility, I have the highest energy around this age, the teenage. I have the highest energy both physically and mentally. All it needs is ensuring that it is directed in the same direction, same way, without distractions. So these distractions ensure that I spoil. Distractions I ensure that I leave the course which I ought to be taking. At the same time, this wanting to be in that course is there, distractions move it away, and that fight between the right and the wrong makes my wellness get disturbed. It is not that you wantonly get into all this junk. It happens because of those attractions at that time, which disturb you from moving away, having moved away from the path you wanted to achieve, and this difference makes you feel very uncomfortable. And this distress further compounds into losing your path and gravitating to some not very productive activity. At the same time, of course, pressure starts building. You have to assume responsibilities in the family or in the job, financially, etc. And in turn, it cascades into even more disappointments, and a person can totally derail. So it is extremely important that wellness is guarded at this age, ensuring that as many of these distractions are ignored. We don't become a candidate who can be vultured from these distractions. So that is one issue. So this is a vulnerable period. It is also vulnerable for many things. Highest competitiveness comes around this age, because you have to achieve. There are so many people. Today I am talking of a medical entrance examination, and we have 1 lakh seats available in the country. 25 lakh people write the examination for 1 seat, 1 lakh seats. So that is 1 out of 25 will get it. And if somebody is targeting government seats, then you have only 50,000 seats. You are targeting the best colleges, top 20 or 30 colleges, you can understand the competitiveness that is going to get even worse. So is the case in many subjects. Medical, because I am from the National Medical Commission and I know what happens in medical courses. The competition is worse in some areas. If somebody wants to get into IIT, again the competition is very bad. Or somebody wants to crack an IAS examination, it is worse. And most of us target the best, which I think you should target the best. You should become the best. At the same time, you should also know that there is also, if not best, there are better things available. They may not be better than that best, but there are better things. And of course, good things also are available. And you can achieve that. But in the process, what happens, I agree, best is the only thing that is visible to me. The better and the good are not visible to me, which makes you feel very stressed. Continued stress becomes a distress. And the distress brings in a host of other bodily changes. I'll come back to that little later. So number one, have a purpose in your life to achieve. To make sure that the purpose is achieved, the track has to be smooth. Ensure that those distractions don't disturb you, which is going to happen. So in spite, amidst the distractions, you are moving in. And then get the best that you wanted to achieve. Continue to remain as competitive as you can be without getting distressed. As competitive as you can be, that is the karma siddhanta, karma yoga, which the Lord spoke about. Keep doing your duties. Target is not the only purpose for your life. You have a purpose, but don't necessarily be expecting a result. Don't work only for the result. Keep working for the purposes of doing the best in all what you are doing. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. That is perfection of all activities what you are doing is the yoga or that transcendental way of life, spiritual way of life. So you keep doing it, I'm sure the result will follow. This concept actually makes you feel actually very well. You feel very purposeful in your life. You will also feel that you are stress free. You will also feel that you will actually getting day by day in a progressive direction. I'm sure in this process of mentioning the importance of wellness in our age group, I have already listed many things, inadvertently though, indirectly though. What are the things that you should or should not do? I'm not going to make a big list like a sermon, what are the things you should or you should not do. All of you are extremely intelligent, you already caught those points. But a few things which I think I should emphasize, which you must follow. Apart from there are many things I have already hinted to you what you need not follow or not getting succumbed to. But what are the things that you need to follow? You need to be doing it. Apart from coming regularly to the class, being attentive to your classes, being attentive to your reading, attentive to your homework, attentive to your examination, being good at home, being punctual, being timely, and so on and so forth. Every day the college, I'm sure, will be telling you. But what I want to emphasize is ensure that your food and activities are very well balanced. Physical exercise and right food will ensure wellness both for physical body and for the mind. When I am saying activities, that include not just exercises but also your daily lifestyle, which I am sure you are already aware of. What time do I get up? What time do I eat? What time do I go to bed? And how long I need to sleep? And being clean, being as fresh as possible, the way in which I dress in my own body. But in the whole process, ensure that you have had as much physical activity as possible. And today, one of the serious concerns in our country and in the world over is what is called as the non-communicable disorders, which of course mental health, mental illness is one important thing, but then you have heard of diabetes, blood pressure and so on and so forth. To us, it's not going to come to me. It's going to come to those fellows who are 40s or 50s, my father or my uncle, my elder brother. They will have, my age nothing, I'm not nothing. But you will also go to read that age, no? How are you making sure that these conditions, which are very common, are going to keep away from you? The way in which you can make that happen is have good physical exercise. Good physical exercise can come by many means, not just bodybuilding, going to gym, but you could do good lot of physical activity which is equal to the physical exercises. And also, of course, make sure that your food is very well balanced. Amongst one important ingredient which I want you to keep away is that sugar. Keep it in their limit. I know it is very attractive. Calcutta or West Bengal for that matter, without that rasgulla, no diet will happen. But I know how much of, you know how much of rasgulla you need to eat at what age. So very importantly, keeping sweets away, making sure the physical activity is as optimal as possible, keeps you very healthy. And this is the time when you try to emulate others, your classmates, and there can be some event that could have happened in your friend that should also perhaps disturb you. And how do you overcome those things? And that is the reason why healthy groups are important. Discuss with each other. You help others and they help you. In the entire lifetime of ours, we dedicate ourselves to be helpful to others. And that is the very principle of the culture of this land. I always use this small anecdote to impart one quality that can make us all remain well all through our life. We live for others. We should live for others. We know Mahabharata was written by Ganesha. Vyasa keeps dictating Ganesha to write. And Ganesha would have told him that you should so continuously dictate, I should never stop my pen moving. The moment you stop and pause, I'll stop writing. So to make sure that this Ganesha continuously writes it, while Vyasa has to recall the story, Vyasa keeps filling in the gaps with what is called as smaller stories. It goes on and on and on. That's why Mahabharata becomes a very huge grantha. Because there are so many smaller stories in between, rather than just Rama goes get the Sita and gets married to her, kills Ravana. This is a very simple thing. But here there are so many upakathas which goes on. Dictate. Ganesha is finally very tired. At the end of it, Mahabharata is written. Ganesha gets very angry at the end of it. Look, you made me write so much. Then Vyasa says, look, at my age, you should understand, I have written so many other things. I have written maybe 10 times, 20 times, 100 times more than what you have written just now. Is it so? Yes, of course. Come, I'll take you to my library. He takes him to his library. Look, all this I have written. Crores and crores of shlokas, Puranas, stanzas, mantras, etc., etc. Ganesha becomes very surprised. So much was written. He asks him, why did you write all this? Ganesha asks Vyasa, why did you write all this? No, by reading all these things, people will become very informed. They live a very good life. they are useful to society, they will attain moksha, etc., etc. Ganesha laughs. He says, if that has to happen, by the time they read all these things, their life is gone. So much has to be read. So it is not possible. So you have to give a executive summary of what all that it contains. So in a shorter version, the trailer of the movie will tell you what the movie is. And he says the large judgment given by the Supreme Court, executive order is only some 3 or 4 paragraphs, or maybe even 1 paragraph. I need to read that executive order after all these things. In crores and crores of shlokas you have written, I need to know a final summary abstract of what is this for me to follow. So Vyasa says, Shlokardhena pravakshyami yaduktam grantha kotibihi. I will tell in half a shloka what is written in crores of books which I have written here. Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas and so on and so forth. Shlokardhena pravakshyami yaduktam grantha kotibihi. Paropakara punyaya papaya paripeetanam. That is the essence of the entire life that we have to follow. We live for others. And that principle, if you start inculcating, I know it's a very spiritual principle, living for others, being good to others, to your own friends, your own classmates, your own family members. And that is what is going to ensure that you are healthy, you are going to be well, and that wellness is guarded in you. I'll perhaps stop here. I know you have probably grasped what it need to be, what it need to be well, and if you aren't, what it can happen. A host of bodily reactions can happen. Some examples I mentioned, the diabetes, blood pressure, etc., etc. There can be many things, but more important is by being well, what can be achieved, what Swami Vivekananda achieved by being well. And you have, of course, going to make a choice what you want to be, and I'm sure you have already made the choice. Guarding wellness is largely in your hands. Largely in your hands. A small proportion may be something that comes beyond you. Then others will help you. The well people will help you. So everybody has to be well, which is in their own interest, and each one of you can achieve that wellness and get the life to be purposeful for the best result, for yourself, for your society and for this country. And the ideals of Swami Vivekananda is in front of you, and I'm sure all of you will follow that. I'll quickly stop here. If there are any quick questions, if Swamiji permits, I'll be willing to answer you, or if this has to close at this hour, it's 4:30, I'll stop here. Hello. Wish you all the best. Good luck for your career. Good luck for your life. Thank you very much.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Thank you, sir, for this lecture. So, sir, you are a psychiatry student. So, I want to hear, in your point of view, that studying in this type of college, there are when we are too busy with study, practical, and everything related to study. So there are two contrasting mindset that occur in our mind. One is the mindset of Swami Vivekananda, and another is the family concept. So how it is managed in this generation. And one more is that studying in this type of boys college, we sometimes need someone that you are telling that we are getting distracted. So why so how this is important, how this importance in our life to maintain all these things. So I want to hear in
Yeah.
your point of view.
Can anybody repeat this question? He has asked a question. I'm sure you can even answer the question. I don't want you to answer right now. Can someone repeat the question? Whoever has heard him. Whoever has heard his question, I want you to repeat that question.
I think
You, that is next to him. He would have told you the question. I want to know whether others heard it. Because they were all active in identifying new questions, I guess. Anyone who has heard him. This is very important. As I was telling you, all of us got distracted. Yes, sir.
Sir, can I say in Bengali?
No, whatever language you can tell the question that he asked. If I cannot understand, Swamiji will translate it for me.
Sir, he wanted to say that how could, what is your point of view of... Achha.
You can
Sir-
use any language, no problem. But you should tell what question he asked.
স্যার ও জিজ্ঞেস করলো যে আপনি তো একজন সাইকিয়াট্রিস্ট বা সাইকোলজি স্টুডেন্ট ছিলেন, এবার আপনার পয়েন্ট অফ ভিউ থেকে এটা কিভাবে দেখছেন যে আমাদের মানসিকতা, মানে এই কলেজে পড়ার সময় দু ধরনের মানসিকতা কাজ করছে, একটা স্বামীজির মতো আর একটা ফ্যামিলি টাইপ। এবার মানে এই জেনারেশন সাংসারিক, এবার এই জেনারেশনে কোনটা মানে ঠিক বা এরকম টাইপের?
Okay. Was it correct? No, I know his question. But did he say the same question? Yeah. Yeah, you have said what he wanted to, what you thought you heard from him. Swamiji says you did some more editing of yourself. Perfectly all right. I want to know if somebody can say his question. Somebody has heard. Okay, leave it at. I will try to answer the question. Get the mic back. Yeah. Every one of us have a worldly responsibility. All of us cannot become Swami Vivekananda, and I don't think it is correct. But that Swami Vivekananda in us should be there, not necessarily being a person who you saw as what Swami Vivekananda. Even if a Swamiji has been there, almost like the Swami Vivekananda, his entire family is sitting here. So for that Swamiji, that single family is not there. This entire thing is his family. This Swami Vivekananda is also anchored to a family. The welfare of all of you is also important to him. Whereas if I am a family man, welfare of my family is of course important. It should be. So the role model of Swami Vivekananda, the entire country was his family. He lived for them. He is living for you. You will live for a smaller family of yours. So that there is no contrast here. Somebody said there was a contrast. Contrasting forces like what Swami Vivekananda lived and what I have to live in your family. Definitely not. There is no contrast here at all. As long as while doing that life, you still retain that purpose of your life of being paropakara punyaya. In that process also, my life is for others. Here others could be that the family, and making sure that family is also living for others. If that can be achieved, I am sure you have achieved everything. And how do you keep the distractions away? How do you keep your distractions away? It's a important question. Each of you is very intelligent and I know how you can tackle that. But some simple things, which tips I can give you. Very simple things which many of you could be well practicing. Firstly, make sure that you decide what you have to do. Not your friend deciding that, look, we will go to a movie. We'll bunk the class and go to a hotel. We'll skip this PT period and maybe watch a movie on your cell phone. Make sure that the questions are there on your cell phone and the answers are there. And don't do that. So you decide what is actually righteous, which I'm sure you have those things in your mind and you have to be doing it, not distracted by others. Second thing is, ensure that you are content, keep your expectations within what you can reach. Extend those expectations beyond what you can reach is another source of disappointment. And third, very, very important thing is ensure as much discipline as possible in all walks of your life, whether it is sleep, exercise, food, money, come what may, whatever may be those things. In all those things, you should know the limits in which you can manage and make sure those limits are not crossed. Put that Lakshman Rekha for yourself by you. There is no Lakshmana for all the Ramas sitting here. You are both Rama and Lakshmana. If you can practice these things, you would probably remain within limits and still achieve everything. And make sure the life of Vivekananda is what we ought to be living, but our definition of families could be different. For Vivekananda, the entire world was the family. And for us, we are not Vivekanandas. But we could well be that part of Vivekananda which makes sure that a circle of people whom we guard with that spirit, that spiritual strength that we have. So I'll perhaps stop here. I think it is already getting late and your Swamiji said 3 questions and questions have been asked. And in the next question, asking person will become a villain because you made sure that all others were not let out. So I think I'll stop here. Good luck for each one of you.
Hello.
Hello. Yes. Sir, the session was fully inspired. It is impactful, so I'm really inspired. So my question is, in this world full of constant distraction, like you have mentioned in your speech, so there are some distractions that cannot be really avoided, like the loss one, like loved one, you can lose your loved one. Those, how can you welcome those with calm and still move on with your focus? Like losing of your loved one, the one you love may die and all this.
Can somebody help me to understand the accent?
Anyone died?
Okay, I was like, there are some distractions that may not be avoided, like you may lose your loved one, someone that is dearly to you. So if something like that happened to you, and you are the one who is self-oriented to yourself, you want to achieve something in your life, and those things happen, those obstacles come on the way. How should you avoid them? How
did I avoid?
Yeah, how do you go on with calm and leave those things which have happened like that?
Yeah, it's true that we slip and we fall. You keep moving. Only if you are walking, you can tumble and fall down. Only when you are in the society, you will meet something odd. Only when you are walking, that stone hurts you. Only when you are using the vehicle, the tire gets flat. Do nothing, everything is fine. But it's true that if somebody has to be continuously productive, he has to be meeting with obstacles. If Rama had to succeed, he had to go to that forest. If the righteousness has to be expressed by those Pandavas, they had to be beaten by the Kauravas in that game. And that's something that was attractive to him at that time, and he ended up in difficulty. So movement, action always has some friction, and the friction on the wrong side, rubbing on the wrong side, can invite trouble. But if the goal is fixed, you fall down, clean up yourself, and again start in the same direction. So tumbling down, getting attracted, getting distracted is a rule. Overcoming that, ensuring that your purpose, direction of that purpose, achieving the purpose is not shattered, is make sure that you keep moving. It is true that each time you fall down, you become more careful. Each time you have a puncture in your car tire, you make sure that you want to avoid that route. Each time you step on a stone, you make sure that you will be a little more attentive where I am going to place my next step. So every error, every succumbing to distraction will make me more and more perfect. If you keep that in your mind, distractions are not permanent. Distractions are a rule. Overcoming that is our rule. We have to make it for ourselves. So if we make that, I am sure we will achieve. Excellent. Thank you very much. And I think we should stop here. Good luck for all of you.
With this, we come to the concluding moment of today's seminar. On behalf of our college, Ramakrishna Mission, Vivekananda Centenary College, and behalf of our all staff members, I extend a really heartfelt gratitude to Professor B.N.Gangadhar ji, Honorable Chairman sir, who spared his time from his busiest schedule to grace this occasion. I also thankful to you, sir, for your wonderful talk and interaction with our students. Today we had an opportunity to hear his insights, thoughts, and this will surely be going to encourage of our students for their future progress. And we will hope that he will definitely enlighten us again. Thank you, all of us. Thank you, sir.